Before you hit the video, let me explain something.
Oops. Go.
All right, so we got some mud mixed in here, okay. And I'll show you on the next video how to mix 20-minute mud, 40-minute mud, 5-minute mud. But this is just the purpose of showing you how to get it on here. That's what we'll do. And Keith, you here? Okay, I need you to come and look. All right, so got my tape on here. What I do, I just get my mud. Tape's already on there. You see the mesh tape? Okay.
What's the name of that tape, Dion?
Mesh tape.
Mesh. M-E-S-H. The other tape is what? Just paper tape.
Paper tape.
Yeah.
All right. So
you want to take notes, you can.
So I'll just take, and I just take the trowel just like this. You don't have to put too much on there. Just make sure you cover the whole thing, all the tape. And then I don't really dig in it that hard, only on the edges. I feather it out. Like I'll start here. Feather it out there. And then I come this way. Feather it out. Feather it out. Feather it out. And I just make sure there's no lumps. Everything is flat. See this edge right here needs a little bit more right there.
Where?
Right there. On the edge of the tape right here. Okay, so I'm just going to build it up a little bit. Just like so.
You say build it up, what do you mean?
I'm not taking as much, like for instance, look, if I do that, see I took too much mud.
When you say you took too much, I mean you can see the mesh. It's still visible.
Well, you can see the mesh. I mean, the mesh is still always going to be visible after one application. Even with paper tape, you're still going to see the paper tape. It's just because the mesh shows more. But you see how I just dug the trowel, the putty knife in, and I just practically just took all the mud off. But now I'll just take this. I'll put the mud in, right? Okay. And then I'll go this way, and I won't dig in too hard, just to see that?
Let up a little bit, press back down.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a small lump, probably about a good centimeter or 2 centimeters maybe.
Something you're not really going to notice, I mean, because after this, you really have to sand this thing afterwards. So whatever extra, So I'm applying it in such a way that you can't hardly see the mesh, but when we come back and sand it, then you might see the mesh.
Now what's the purpose of sanding it if you've already mudded it? Wouldn't you be wasting your time?
No, I mean you still have to have it perfectly smooth because you'll still have little lines and blemishes.
What lines? I don't see any lines on those lines.
Right there.
So you don't want those lines?
You don't want those lines.
Why not?
Because they'll show through your texture. But it's good practice to always sand your sheetrock repair areas. You get a perfectly smooth surface and your texture will not fail on you. That's the one thing about, now when you're doing taping and bedding, and you're hanging sheetrock, and you use paper tape in your seams, your sheetrock's already, the ends of your sheetrocks, they're already concaved a little bit. So you can literally just take a 12-inch blade and run all your sheetrock across and not have to come back and sand.
Oh.
Yeah, it just depends. But when you're trying to put sheetrock on a surface that's already textured, you're better off always sanding no matter what, because somehow, some way, even though it looks good, it doesn't look like it looks perfectly smooth. When you go to texture, you're gonna see a difference.
Now notice that blade you're using. I notice it's not bending. It looks like it's a nice quality blade.
Yeah, it's a stainless steel blade. I like to use stainless steel only because they don't rust on you, and that's big.
And notice it doesn't have bend. Notice it's not flimsy.
Yeah.
So it's a more expensive knife he has there.
Exactly. And guess where I got this from?
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. So Harbor Freight does have good stuff.
Just not power tools.
You don't, yeah, you want to stay away from their power tools.
Yeah. Now you can find some really good stuff at pawn shops too. Hand tools. Yeah, because guys steal it all the time and they'll pawn it.
And there you go. That crack is pretty much repaired. What I would do before I give it a second coat, I might slightly sand the edges around, give it another coat.
Now when you say sanded, what like sandpaper? When I look in the store, it had a lot of numbers. One said 20, one said 80, 60. What do we sand with?
I can sand it with 80, 100 grit.
Okay, now what is that 80, 100? What is that 80, 100, 1,000? Now what does that mean?
80 grit is the how coarse your sandpaper is.
Okay.
80 grit to 100, 120.
Okay, 220.
220 is really the finest.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, but when you have a lot of buildup like this and you want to move fast, I like to use like 120. I'll just sand it real quick and boom, I'm ready to go.
20 grit. So it's grid, G-R-I-D or G-R-I-T?
I think it's like G-R-I-T, grit.
Yeah. You get it with a 80, 120, and then you come back with a 220.
Yep.
So you use 3 sandpapers just for that little crack?
You use 2.
Used to.
Especially when it's too thick, you use the 120.
Yeah.
Then to take it all off, and then with a 220, it's fine, so you don't see no lines or nothing on the patch.
Yeah, see, when they tore that wall down at Tilford, and they redid that sheetrock, I could tell that they went with the fine because that texture turned out really, really good. It's just flawless what these guys did.
Thank you.
So the crack disappeared.
The crack is gone, and that crack will not come back. Why? Because I taped it with mesh tape or paper tape.
The only place you use